Hey everyone, welcome to another video. This one's going to be on how to get the Flycast emulator set up and running on your Windows 10 machine. This is a Dreamcast emulator. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and click on that link on the description page. It's going to bring you to this spot right here. So we're going to go ahead and scroll down a little bit here, and we're going to pick the Windows 64 version. Again, this video is for Windows 10. So you would click on that, go ahead and download that. Install that to your system. Once you have it installed, we're going to go ahead and launch that. Alright, and once you launch that for the first time, it is going to give you basically all the stuff you see here is not going to be on there. You're just basically going to see this Dreamcast logo here. So the first thing you're going to want to do, it's pointed to, the folder where you have your game images at. So go to settings. We're going to click on this spot right here that says add. So you're basically going to navigate, to your directories, and you're going to tell it what folder, contains your backups. And then next time, when you click done, it is going to show you the window here with whatever game images you have backed up. We'll go through the rest of the settings here real quick. This one's fairly simple. The controls will automatically be set up for you if you do have the compatible joysticks. As you can see right now, I have 3 of them connected, and they are all set up on here. Now, if you do not feel comfortable with the settings that are on there by default, you can always go in there into the map, and then change the the configuration for it, but it does work very well. I've never had to go in there and change it for any of the games that I've run. So that's all up to you. If you do need to make changes, you would make them in here on the mapping section. And then it does have some settings also for the rumble effect, the thumbsticks dead zone, and the saturation. If you need to change that, you can do that from the settings spot. If you want to map the keys differently, you would hit on the map button. And another important one here is the video. Over here, you can go ahead and set the transparent sorting. You can do per triangle, per strip, per pixel. I left it on per triangle. You can play around with that and just choose whatever works the best for you. Frame skipping, I usually disable. If your computer can handle it, then you should leave that with disabled so it doesn't skip any frames. You have the options to leave the shadows on, the fog. You can choose widescreen or make the 4:3 game stretch to 16:9. Let's see, you got the default texture filtering here. You can go ahead and choose default, nearest neighbor, force linear. I usually go ahead and pick force linear. VSync, I recommend you leave that on so it doesn't have any screen tearing when you're playing. There's some other options here, but I pretty much didn't mess with any of those. I left the rest of it default. Also here, you can go ahead and pick the resolution. The internal resolutions, you can change it here. The closest thing to 1920 by 1080 is this setting here. So that would be 2133. Now, if you leave the stuff at default and you do want to stretch the game to fill up more of the black bars on the left and right, you can go ahead and play around with this. The horizontal setting here. If not, you can go ahead and leave it alone. From what I've noticed, if you leave it at widescreen, it pretty much it does everything with the screen stretching, so you shouldn't have to mess with that one. But if you do, that option is there if needed. Everything else I left at default. Now this over here, you want to change it according to how many threads your processor is running. I have 6 threads on 6 cores on my the machine, so I'm just leaving it that at 5. So obviously you can't set that higher than the amount of cores that you have. So if you have 6, I recommend just going one under. So whatever number you have, you can kind of play around with it. Just make sure that whatever number you set is under the actual amount that you have. And then once we're done there, we can go to audio. Audio, pretty much, you don't have a lot of options here. You have the volume, latency, and the audio driver. That you should set to auto. It should automatically find that on its own. If not, you can always hit this arrow here and choose from what you see up there. DSP, this is set to enable the Dreamcast digital sound processor. It says only recommended on fast platforms. I went ahead and checked that on mine. Networking here, I'm not going to mess with anything networking, so I have everything here disabled. But if you do want to, I guess, play on a network, you can go ahead and play around with those settings, but I'm not going to be doing anything with that in this one. We can go ahead and advance next. I left that at the default. The default for the SH4 clock is 200, so I don't suggest messing with that. Multi-thread emulation, obviously, if you have a multi-threaded computer, you want to have that checked. This one here, they really don't recommend you change it because it might break compatibility with some of the games. Automatically report crashes, I would check that off because I don't like sending info. And let's see, the scripting, that you can pretty much leave as is, unless you have your own custom scripting that you want to run. So with that, we're done. We can go ahead and click done. I am going to go ahead and just run a super quick little demo here. We'll do a vanishing point here. This will just be for a few seconds just to make sure. Now see, when you look at it, it looks like it's going to run it in 4:3, but if you pick the widescreen option, it should stretch the image out for you to widescreen. So we'll see that here in a second when this boots up. Here we go, we're loading up right now. And it should load the game widescreen when it comes on. There you go. So as you can see, it's running fine. It does have the joystick already set to default. So the right trigger is applied to the gas and the brake is the left trigger. So all the buttons are set up correctly, so we're good to go on that aspect of it. One quick note, when you load a game, you can actually, if you leave the settings as is on the joystick, if you hit the select button on the joystick, you'll get the menu here. And that's probably the easiest way to do it if you want to save a game or load a game. Just go ahead and hit that select button, and you can go ahead and save the states, or you can load the state that you've already saved. Eject the disk, you can jump right back into the settings again. That way, that's kind of like a little shortcut also. And we are pretty much done with this one. Pretty straightforward, easy setup on that one. So if you guys have never tried this, you can go ahead and give it a shot now. If you guys have any comments, you can go ahead and leave those in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, and we will see you guys on the next video.